Welcome to the Be Your Best Self Life Planning Series. I'm your host, Lakita Brooks, LCSW. Thank you so much for joining me today. All right, so today's discussion was sparked by an amazing licensed mental health counselor that I absolutely love here in Jacksonville, Florida. And the topic is about I'm feeling grateful and purpose and yet undirectional. And I'm like, can anyone else relate to that? And I was reading a post that she wrote recently, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am just so happy she wrote the post, just talking about being in business. Basically knowing that this is what she should be doing, but feeling frustrated with organization and figuring out marketing and getting clients and doing the therapy piece. So that was just kind of an overview of her post, and I'm going to expound on that and just relate it to what's been going on in my life personally with the business LLC and enterprise. Our growth with Youth Source, which is our teen workforce development program. And under Youth Source, there is the Youth Source Academy. So feeling just extremely grateful. Just finished with Thanksgiving, had an amazing time with my mom, sister, cousins, grandparents, family, and just really thankful that, no matter what, good, bad, or indifferent, I have an absolutely amazing, supportive family. I also had an opportunity to talk to my daughter, so that was also a highlight. So that's the piece about that I'm grateful for. And I'm even grateful that I've been gifted with this dream and this vision to have an all-encompassing teen workforce development program. So grateful that I've been given that gift. And to move into the purpose, piece, oh my gosh. So as I'm walking in my purpose and things of that nature, and I'm telling you my story to hopefully it inspires someone else or help you as you go along this journey of knowing that your purpose for something, but not fully knowing what it is or even how to accomplish it. So the undirectional piece deals with not knowing how to accomplish it. So we're going to stick to the purpose part right now. So as I'm decluttering my house, getting ready, to just kind of clean out some things, because in feng shui, it's all about everything needs a home. So that means if there's something in my house, no matter if it's paper, pencils, TVs, or whatever, if it doesn't have a home, it needs to go. Either it needs to be donated or it needs to go in the trash, depending on, how, if it's still in a good condition or not. So in between working on business over these past few days, I've also been decluttering my house. But the neat thing about decluttering is as I'm going through different drawers and stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh. I've been talking about the same thing in different forms since 2010. So it's like, wow. So documents where I'm talking about affordable housing and different programs that the housing should have to help people become self-sufficient. Students in career planning, looked at some stuff I saw from when I'm doing some work at Rains High School in 2012 and 2013, where I was incorporating poetry therapy with the career planning and different questionnaires I had them do. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I said all that to say, like, this has been my baby for almost 7 years. Okay. So like, this is not like overnight, oh my God, Youth Source. No, over the course of 7 years, I've pretty much talked about the same thing about career planning, students identifying their strengths, their interests, creating a career plan. I've pretty much been talking about this in different forms for 7 years. And now, fast forward to now, 7 years later, I finally, I finally feel like I've come up with a program and a name that will actually work. So for those of you who know that there is something in you, just keep at it, keep brainstorming it, keep actually doing it. So during this process, I didn't just, sit and say, oh, one day I'm going to pull it together. No, I've done a variety of things. I did it for a few years at Rains High School. Then it was called the High School Heighten Project, a proposal at One Spark a few years ago. Then I was thinking about doing something at a community program with a housing project that's here. And now it's like, oh my gosh, it's Youth Source. So don't be discouraged. Keep at it. I'm still at it. And with that being said, we're moving into the undirectional piece. So it's like, okay, yes, finally got a name for what I really do. Youth Source, is some will probably automatically know, it's a play on the term career source or work source. Because basically, those are workforce development programs for adults. But for me, I want to work with the teens because I feel like we need to start when they are young by offering life skills, mentorship, and not just regular mentorship, career-specific mentorship, and career plans. So the undirectional piece is like, okay, now, oh my God, I have this great program. I put it together. I packaged it. And I was like, okay, so there are going to be some people who can't actually afford it. So what does that mean? I need to get sponsorships or partner with nonprofits because I am a for-profit. And that does make life a little different or in a few extra nuances, I would say. Because when you're a nonprofit, people, don't mind giving to people who are nonprofits with a 501c3 because then they can write it off. Versus when you have a for-profit but you promote a social cause, you don't have the luxury of people being able to just write it off as easily. Not saying they can't write it off, because I'm quite sure where there's a will, there is a way. But it brings in a few extra dynamics. But either way, so now it's like, okay, so now I need to get this program to students who really need it, who might not be able to afford to do it. And as you all know, I have a daughter that lives with me that's 12 years old. And it's just the two of us at our house. So I have to eat and pay bills. So that means that I have to look for different organizations that's either nonprofits to partner with me or it's going to provide a contract for me to provide these services. So that's the undirectional piece. It's just, I'm still working it, still doing what I can do. And as I continue on my life's journey and building my business and doing what I really know that I'm purposed to do, I guess more things are revealed to me. So I would encourage anyone who know that you're purposed to do something, keep at it. As I said, as I'm looking through documents, I have stuff written from 2010 to 2012 to 2013 and 15. So I have tons of things written. As you probably can tell, I love writing stuff and developing programs and curriculum. So, fun times. Thank you all so much for joining me. I've said a lot today, but if you don't get anything else from what I've said is we all have something to be grateful for. And if you know that you're purposed to do something, as I know that I'm purposed to do something, we have to stick with it, even if we're a little undirectional. We don't know the exact direction. We don't know how it's going to all come to fruition. We're still trying to work the kinks out, but guess what? It is a process. as long as we're working the kinks out, which means that we're working on it. We're doing something. We're not just sitting and saying, I hope that this happens. Oh, let me just sit and meditate on this. No. Let's get to work. We have to do something in order for things to be revealed to us. So be encouraged. I'm Lakita Brooks, LCSW, with the Be Your Best Self Life Planning Series that's presented by LCN Enterprise. See you all next week at 8 a.m. Until next time, be your best.